Okay, so everybody, welcome back to the Mystic Syndicate. I am your Dungeon Master, Brian, and this evening we are breaking away from our normal scheduled programming, and we're going to cover what happens to Kelex, our human paladin of Heironious, who was taken away by Aryvistarax, the dragon. So I'm going to break into having him probably also. I don't know if you're capable or able to do some rolls this evening. You might have to actually do so.
Yep.
Good. Okay. Yeah. So we'll definitely need that. Do you have roll 20 up, or are you just using D&D Beyond?
Roll 22.
Awesome. Good. All righty. So yeah, I'm joined here by Pav, who plays Kelex. And we are going to go ahead and get started. Let me go ahead and jump in here myself and get my stuff up and running. Okay, let me actually just go to the player screen. Cool. All righty. So, after you had been pinned in the jaws of Aryvistarax, and she decided to take off with you, heading back north towards her lair. What you can only believe is going to be a pretty long flight, because she still has to go all the way to. Let me bring up a map real quick so we can make sure we get all the right names. So, map. Alrighty. Anna B. Meyer. Thank you, Anna B. Meyer, once again, for everything you do.
She's got a lot of great maps in this.
Oh, yeah. They're beautiful. I'm like, I can't believe how awesome these maps are. Okay, yes. So, heading to the Perrin, in Perrinland, where Mount Perrin actually is, which is pretty far away. So at least I got the names right. Probably about an hour into your flight, I need you to make a Constitution save at disadvantage.
I think it's the first time actually. There's the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, and another one.
And the 16. Okay, cool. Actually, you did pretty well. Being at the altitude that you're going at, it is looking as though oxygen is definitely a problem for you. And also being that your chest is being compressed by the jaws of this dragon. It has not taken any other actions against you to a point where you feel that it is not carrying away to eat you. It could just stop at any time and just finish you. And you know that. You realize that it's not a very advantageous spot that you're in, but you feel at this point in time that you are probably not in any imminent danger, but you don't know what's going to happen when you finally land. And after several hours of flight, you get tired, and you end up falling asleep, losing consciousness more to the lack of oxygen than anything. So after a while, though, you do your eyes flicker open, and you are no longer in the air. You are actually in a vast cavern, very tall, extreme. Do you have any experience with dungeoneering or anything like that? Probably not. So you don't really realize exactly, like, if Kiffi was here, he'd be able to tell you what this is. But the one thing that you definitely notice is your eyes open. It is extremely dimly lit, but you're laying on. You're not really too sure what you're laying on, but because when you try to move your body, it shifts beneath you. And as your eyes open, you actually are gazing into two greenish, bright greenish eyes that have sort of cat pupil slits. They're not gigantic. They're human. It's like you're looking into a very dimly lit human face. And
okay.
Yeah.
Do I feel if I have my Warhammer still on me?
You have all of your items easily within reach.
Okay, so nothing fell off or it's been taken off of it.
No. Everything that you had on you is still on you. But you realize that your head is actually being cradled in this creature's lap as it looks down upon you. She, in a very strange sort of metallic, sort of tinny voice, says, "I'm glad to see that you're alive. I am very."
Kelex will jump up immediately. Yeah.
She immediately sort of pulls back and she says, I understand why you would react this way. And I am very, very sorry for what I have done. And I totally understand if you would lash out at me at this very moment. But I would like
I'm seeing the dragon. I'm not seeing it polymorphed in any way.
Well, no, it's a woman.
Oh, it's a woman. Okay.
As you gain your kind of, as you kind of pull away from her, you realize it is a woman, and she has. Wish I had the picture that I could show you. It's on my other computer. I'm going to upload it. I'm actually going to upload it right after this. I'm going to put it on Facebook.
What do I know of dragons' ability to polymorph? Is Kelex?
Give me an intelligence check.
Oh, it's a save. Sorry.
It's okay.
Wrong one.
Yeah, it's not a save. It's just a regular.
Okay, so intelligence check. Would that be
if you just go up to where your abilities are, you can just click and it'll give you a dice that you can actually use to. If you hover over it, it should present a dice.
Keeps giving me the save.
Oh,
that's a save.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Yep, I'm sorry. I was looking in the saving area. It's not the actual one.
That's okay.
I keep forgetting those are up there sometimes because I use pretty much everything there. So
right.
All right.
Okay. So you have heard things, but you're not really too sure about the validity of these things that you've heard. But as you're kind of scooting away from her, you realize what you were laying on was actually just a pile of gold and silver. So she has actually brought you to her lair and her hoard. But as you continue to sort of back up a little bit, you run into something a little, it's sort of jutting out and protruding from the coins. So you can make a perception check.
Take a quick glance just behind me to make sure.
Yeah, so you can make a perception check.
Right.
Okay. I mean, it is what it is. So as you back up and you take a look around, you realize that what you're staring at is a dragon egg, and it looks as though. You'd seen reptiles where, like a snake or turtles and stuff like that, how they use like a sharp beak-like appendage to actually break out of their shells. This one does not look like that has actually happened. it looks as though something had broken the shells. And you can actually see the sort of dried remains of a dragonlet inside of it. And
Alex is definitely on his guard, and obviously I've heard things, but I can't click that this is possibly the dragon. So he'll ask, "Who are you, and where is the dragon?"
She rises to her feet, and like I said, she's. I mean, as you kind of are able to take in the light a little bit better, you realize that she is. It looks as though her skin is that of brass, but she's a female, and she says, "I am the scourge that has been placed upon the people of Bissell. I am the nightmare that comes to those of Celene. I am Aryvistarax."
Is she saying this like in a bold way, or
No.
can I tell that she's
okay? You can see that there is remorse. I mean, you can give an insight check if you want, but just the tone is just so. It sounds like a tone of defeat, like absolute just regret, just drips. And she says,
"Why have you brought me here?"
"I brought you here because I feel that you, of all of your of the members of your group, would be willing to talk. I've seen the actions of the others. I remember fighting you in Pellic, and it was very valiant. You flying up to meet me with your hammer, that was very impressive. You and your friend on the Griffin, while foolhardy, just unbelievable amounts of bravery. But
it was our duty to protect these people from you.
And as you say that, you just see her head just hangs lowly. And she says, "I know. And I understand if you would pick up your hammer right now and strike me. I understand why you would do it. I do not blame you. But before I allow you, and I would allow you to do it, I would allow you to do it right now. But I'm hoping..." Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to do an insight. Is she really sincere? I mean, I know we've seen the scrying, but yet she's decimated, a country and a city. So
okay, so with the 20 insight, the way you're looking at this is that she obviously has something that she needs to either get off her chest, or something that needs to be done that will, she, as you can hear, she is genuine when she is willing to just forfeit her life. And she continues. She says, "I know what I have done is unforgivable. I know that the destruction that I've wrought on the people of Bissell and on the city of Enstad is unforgivable. I know. I completely understand where you're coming from, and your friends, and the nation that you defend. But look behind you, and you see the eggs that are laying there. The ones that were taken from me. There is a third. And even if you take my life, I need you to seek out that egg. Protect that egg. because that is the last of my kind here on Oerth. The only reason I did what I did was because of that egg. And those from Ket, namely this Lothar the Barbarian King, who has taken my only child and had killed my other two. I wish for revenge, but above all things, I wish that my legacy would continue with the last of my dragonlets.
Yeah, just give me a second. I wonder, you said Lothar the Barbarian King.
Yes.
I know we've heard that. I've heard that name before, yeah.
You have actually. He was the one who imprisoned the Margrave in Coat Hall Keep. All the way back.
That was a while back. All right, cool.
Right. And so,
well, Kelex, I guess, he lowers his warhammer. While I understand why you did it, I mean, I feel that we all have choices, and I mean, to protect your young, I don't have children of my own, but I could almost see that my mother would probably have done maybe something similar. I don't know if she would have taken others' lives to save her child, innocent lives for that matter. So, you did have a choice.
Yes. But again, the choice of, I'd already lost 2 children. A third was unforgivable and unthinkable. So that is why I did this. And then she sweeps her arm out. You see this horde before you. I know that this will not return those who have perished at my hand. But if there is a way that you can either return that egg to me or to put it in a safe place, everything that you see in this cavern, I would give it. I would give it to the people of Bissell, to the people of Celene. I know it doesn't make up for the loss. I understand that. I do. I can't make up for the loss of what you see around you. She just sighs heavily. She says, and this is another reason why I brought you here, because of all of your friends. I believe that you were one, or are one, who can understand rational. Even though I seem to be irrational, I've trusted that you would be the rational voice. So
you can, Alex, yeah, he's definitely you can see the look of contemplation on his face.
Mm-hmm.
What is it right for him to either kill her or the decision of the people who've lost families and and friends to just basically not so much forgiven, but though she is willing to offer her hoard in payment.
And I can sweeten the deal a little bit more. I understand that your people are fighting and dying and that you have allies, but at any moment the Ket can gain, they have allies that are waiting in the wings.
That is true.
If you can secure that egg and let me know that you have it secure, I will turn my wrath upon your enemies. And you can see that she's, literally just, you could just see this just absolute anger just cross her face, so much that she is tearing up. And as she's tearing up, you can see that it is just molten brass that is just streaming from her eyes. It glows bright on her face. It looks very disturbing, but you can see the seething, just absolute, just the pain mixed with hate and loathing. And you're thinking, whoa, okay. She's,
So
yeah.
seeing and hearing this, yeah, I guess that kind of really twigs, something and Kelex that yes, it actually yes, you are correct. Ked is definitely in a greater position than we are to defend. I will agree to these terms.
Her face softens, and then the tear, you can see that the brass just sort of dries on her cheeks, and she says, "Thank you. Thank you for your understanding and your trust. I know."
The next step is to understand, where do you think they are keeping your egg?
I hate to even mention, but I feel that the egg is probably in the very capital of Ket itself. I can't be for sure, but I know that your elven friends have eyes. Their scouts might know more. You must reach out to them if there's any way to find a commander of theirs. Maybe they know or they've seen Lothar and my only
and immediately
child.
I think to Grenna's uncle. Is it the uncle? Is it her uncle?
Kinda.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, you're kind of thinking if there's going to be somebody who may know some information, it would be
at least
Vitram. Vitram might be the key to the location. Of course, once you get to the location, extracting the egg might prove difficult. And you, of course, realize that you would be going so far in behind enemy lines that it would be almost a suicide mission. But you're also kind of thinking that it would be so worth it, not just in the lives that it would save eventually, but also it might break the resolve of your enemies.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'll look at the dragon, and how do you communicate? Obviously, you may have handlers or something. They obviously tell you where to attack.
Yes. I am in contact with them, unfortunately. There is this, and as she reaches for a it looks like it's just a simple a stone that is has a hole in it with a leather cord. And he says, have you ever seen one of these before? As she kind of holds it up to you. Make a perception check.
Say, does it look familiar?
Got some pretty light rolls this evening. As you look at it, you get a feeling that this looks very, very similar to the same sort of stone that was used by the vampires of Marydale to contact Toby.
Do you know who you speak to when you use that?
She says, I assumed that I was speaking to Lothar himself. He was the one who came here. He was the one who, while I was away, had destroyed my two of my dragonlets. When I arrived, I immediately attacked them, but he held the egg hostage. And as you kind of scan around the room, you can see that there are piles of ash and with armor sticking out of them. So obviously she turned on the fireworks and probably killed, you're looking at probably 5 people, probably pretty quickly, before she realized that he was holding the last egg. They had obviously been in wait.
I will speak to my comrades about what we've discussed here and relate to them, our agreement. Is there a simple means of communicating with each other? I mean, I guess we could use sending spells, but I don't know if she has anything particular we could use to.
She says, I believe I have something that you can use. Unfortunately, it is not here. I have another hoard that I also keep. And actually, I keep a couple of different locations, but this is my home. This is the biggest, and that is why I offered it to you. I, unfortunately, will have to go there to get it. I don't think it would probably be in my best interest or your best interest for me to carry you to this location. So, if you would not mind, I would ask, and I know it's much to ask because I've already captured you and kept you confined here. And as you look around, you can just see it's really just a gigantic treasure hoard. There's not really like a lot of furniture or anything. Most of the time she does not, and she explains that most of the time I do not appear in this form. It's not my natural form. I did it out of complete trust in you, that you see me at my most vulnerable. I shall return, and I shall return quickly. And before I go, though, I will make sure to leave you with food and drink and things of that nature. It would be wise to not try to leave, for if you step through that cavern passage over there, you most certainly will die.
Thank you.
I hate to do this. It's not in my nature. Paladins like yourself are not my enemies. No. So she waves her hand, and as she does so, a table appears, and on it is food and drink. And she says, I know it's not much, but I trust that this will keep you, and I will be back very, very soon. So, and thank you for listening to me. Thank you for
not spitting me out or eating me.
That was never my intention. And she says, well, I must go. I will return. And as she says that, she once again raises her hands, brings them down, and she turns invisible. She like blinks out, and you're like, oh, weird. So, I mean, you as you're just kind of looking around the room and everything, you see that, yes, there were at least 2 other eggs here, dead dragon babies. The table, there is easily probably close to 500,000 gold pieces on the floor here. I mean, there are hundreds. There's chalices. There's all types of stuff here. There's weapons. There's probably hundreds of magical items. And so she is willing to go to these lengths to ensure her legacy and the offspring of her children, at least one child. You know that there's obviously a lot that she's gambling on.
Yeah. No.
So,
I totally get it.
Yeah.
And I'll respect her hospitality, and I'll look around, but I'm not touching anything except for the food. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's really about it.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
Awesome. No, I don't have any questions.
Okay.
No. I mean, yeah, I guess it's like, I mean, as a paladin, I'm trying to live up, you also think as a paladin, yeah, I'm fighting something that really decimated not just my people, but the people of an ally, and I'm hoping that they'll take this well, that I've made a deal with something that destroyed their city and most of the countryside in Bissell. However, I guess I'm thinking now the long term, we can get her on our side, because we talked about this before. Us as a group, we can get this dragon on our side. That will be a huge cause, for Bissell.
Right.
So.
Exactly.
Yep.
So, alrighty. Okay. Well, hey, was this kind of